When I graduated from college, this was not my plan. I was planning on leaving, maybe somewhere bigger, corporate probably. I was always gonna do marketing, but it was never in my plan to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know how. It seemed just daunting, honestly. And I think that's a huge shout out to Grand Forks, to the North Dakota, at large, the entire business climate, the community. There's such opportunity here.
Welcome to Hangar X Studios, where former fighter pilot and host John Ramstead takes us on a journey across aerospace as it enters an historic period of innovation and transformation. Our guests include aviation experts, pilots, financiers, military leaders, and innovators of all types. Buckle up for another episode of Hangar X.
Today's episode is brought to you by our platinum sponsor, XTI Aerospace. They are powering the vertical economy, building a long-range VTOL, and you can find more at xtiaerospace.com. Now, please remember to like, comment, and share on this channel, and enjoy today's podcast. Welcome to the Hangar X podcast. We're live, and we are at Grand Forks in North Dakota at The Hive, and excited today to have Cassidy Will on. She started Labradorly Marketing, and you have kind of focused and specialized as part of what you do in drones and the whole UAS space. So Cassidy, tell us a little bit about yourself and Labradorly.
Sure. So I graduated from the University of North Dakota, I guess 5 years ago already. It was December 2020, so it was right in the heart of COVID. Yep. And I was lucky enough to be working with a startup at the time. It was just a little bit, it was harder for some people to find work. So I was very lucky to be working with a startup here in Grand Forks. And that's really what kind of got me interested in entrepreneurship. And one thing kind of led to another. I ended up starting Labradorly, which is a small business marketing company, kind of from that mentorship of that first internship that I did. And it was kind of, the rest was history kind of type of situation. Getting involved in the UAS industry specifically was your classic North Dakota kind of connections story, where I started working with a company at the co-working space down the street, and then got connected with the co-working space itself. Then the managing director moved over here to the Hive, got connected with the Hive, then started working with companies within the Hive, and so it truly is just like a classic story of North Dakota connections.
Now, if, for people that aren't familiar, explain what the Hive is, because you also do marketing for the Hive. So
I do, yes. So the
tie
Hive,
that in.
The Hive, it really is a one of a kind. And I don't know that another one exists. Maybe it does, but it's a tech accelerator for all UAS companies. It kind of is like a co-working space, and so you can have an office here, but it really is the connector piece between university, between the cities, state officials, between all organizations, and kind of brings that
and also
together.
Capital. There's access to capital. There's
capital.
A lot of business development funds, state, federal, local, and also private.
Yes, it really is amazing. Kind of just having a place, a hub. It really is amazing.
Yeah. Now, and you also do work with Meadowlark, and we just had John from Meadowlark on.
I do.
Interviewed. So, when you're thinking about today, there's a lot of noise out there in the drone space, and VTOL, and even with global politics. So, when you're focusing on, because you do not only digital marketing but really consulting on the whole strategy and the implementation. What are some of the things right now that is important to people as they're thinking about their marketing to make it effective and cut through the noise?
Like specifically in the UAS industry?
Yeah.
So one thing that I've noticed when I first started in the industry, I didn't really think there was going to be many differences, and so I treated it like I would any other, and I quickly realized that's not what we should be doing.
Why is that?
Well, the biggest difference I noticed, and it's a little bit harder to explain, so I'll try to do my best, but if it doesn't make sense, please just ask. When you're working, so say you're in healthcare, and you have a company solves a problem, gets their messaging to a client, and your messaging will have a few different a few different options, right? Maybe you're trying to reach like 3 different types of personas of clients. In the UAS industry, it's a little bit different because they work in multiple sectors. And so it's one-to-one across all the different kinds of sectors. And so your messaging needs to be specific. For example, agriculture, you're talking to Department of Defense, you're talking to...
You have monitoring, you have safety and security, you might have just some consumer needs, you have maybe delivery. So you are using a drone, but the application is a very different audience, a very different ideal client profile.
It is, and so...
Is that fair?
Yes, and so you have all of your personas, but within different... You have to just be very, very mindful when it comes to the UAS industry.
Yeah. So what is the advice, the consulting you're doing for Meadowlark and The Hive? What does that look like?
Meaning?
Yeah, the strategy right now. Let's focus on Meadowlark.
Sure.
They're pre-revenue, they're growing, they're building their prototypes. They want to go from bespoke to possibly larger scale manufacturing, right?
Yep.
So what is the thoughts that you're bringing into what they're doing from a marketing perspective?
That makes complete sense. What we're focusing on a lot right now. So Meadowlark is in a very brand building space right now, and so it's not. There's not paid marketing. There's not. We're working mainly into just recognition at this point. Yeah. And something that I've learned, and this is kind of a difference too, that I've been noticing in the UAS space, is conferences are so important. And I know that's true. I know that's true across other industries as well. Healthcare, again, for another example.
Well, we just got back from Verticon, which is the largest vertical flight conference in the world. It was in Dallas.
Yes.
It was huge for us. We actually went from, and thank you everybody for their support, but in the last 28 days, we've had 1.3 million downloads and views, and Verticon was kind of a big launching pad of that.
They're monumental.
Yeah.
And I think, in my opinion, they're used for much different, it's just like you said, they're used for much different purposes in the UAS industry, where they're not necessarily for brand building. They're where the deals will get done. They have...
Well, we talked to customers, we talked to suppliers, we talked to key consultants. You never know who you might know there, but I think also for a conference, it's the work, if you're intentional, that you do into your pre-planning.
100%.
Who are you going to meet there? Who are you going to spend time? Who do you want to meet there?
100%.
Who do you want to have a conversation with? Because that's the only way to have an ROI for a conference, because it's not cheap.
No, and we've been working. I'm going to be in Houston with Meadowlark for Exponential. It'll be my first time at Exponential, so we're very, very excited. But we've been working on it already, I think, for 2 months, and it's at least a month, so that's 3 months, and I some days still feel like we're behind.
Is that with The Hive or Meadowlark?
Meadowlark.
Okay.
Yep.
Wonderful.
And The Hive will be there too.
Yeah. Now, tell me this. So, graduated college 5 years ago, build this marketing business, you get through COVID.
Yep.
What is it like as a young entrepreneur building a business up here in Grand Forks? Tell us a little bit about just kind of the business climate, what you've experienced up here.
This is my favorite thing to talk about. And because I'll be the first to tell you, when I graduated from college, this was not my plan. I was planning on leaving, maybe somewhere bigger, corporate probably. I was always gonna do marketing, but it was never in my plan to be an entrepreneur. I didn't know how. It seemed just daunting, honestly. And I think would be an appropriate place just to give a huge shout out to Grand Forks, to the North Dakota, at large, the entire business climate, the community that we have here. There's a little bit, I think, I don't know what you want to call it, a misconception where kids will come for college, they'll stay for college, right? I was born and raised in North Dakota and then stayed for college. And I think there's a little bit of a miscommunication, I think maybe is the word, where when you graduate, you have to leave to find big opportunities you have to leave to find what you're looking for.
Yeah.
And it's true not only in the UAS industry, right, with the other companies that I work with, but especially UAS. I think the companies that I work with, me, myself, that we couldn't be more of a testament to that not being true. There's such opportunity here.
Well, and I also believe, I was talking with my friend Tobin Arthur this morning, right? The opportunity for The Hive to actually grow companies, incubate companies that have become operating companies, to add hundreds, if not even thousands, over the next 3, 4, 5 years.
Yep.
Right, where the downtown is healthy, but it even becomes more vibrant and thriving. And it'd be great where the kids are going to University of North Dakota for college because they know right there they can do internships and have jobs and that are really good paying jobs doing really cool stuff.
Really cool stuff, yes.
I see that developing. I know the mayor and the local businesses are, it's a big focus. So there's this really business friendly environment here also.
100%, and I'm definitely a testament to that. I would pretty much be, I don't honestly know where I would be without the support and the connections, and everyone's just been so nice and so supporting of what I wanted to do and what I am doing. I guess it's a wonderful, wonderful place to be.
I love that. And so for you, it just what does the next couple years look like for you?
It's hard to say. It's hard to say because when I started, I didn't think I would be here. Right? I opened August of 2021, and now it's 2025. So it's almost been 4 years, and I didn't really see this being kind of where the company would go. I think if I were to guess, I would like to lean more into the consulting side. I love working with, businesses within the UAS industry, across all industries really. It's just wonderful to do that consulting and be a part as many as I can. And so I think that would probably be my answer, but it's honestly hard to say.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, I'm sure we'll be in touch as we see you up here and just keep knocking them live out there.
Yes, thank you so much for having me.